Creating joy through conscious cooking. That's a topic. And hello, I'm Neerja, an Ayurveda practitioner, yoga therapist, and human values educator. Today, I want to speak about something very close to everyday life and yet often overlooked: cooking. Not just what we cook, but how we cook. And more importantly, the state in which we prepare our food. Because, according to Ayurveda, cooking is not just about creating a meal, it is about creating an experience of nourishment. And that experience begins long before the food reaches your plate. Why does cooking feel like a chore for so many people? For many, it has become functional, something that needs to be done, fitted into a busy day, sometimes rushed, sometimes repetitive, sometimes even avoided. You may hear this: I don't have time. I just need something quick. I'll eat whatever is available. And while this is understandable, something important gets lost. Because when cooking becomes a task, we disconnect from one of the most powerful opportunities for nourishment. Here's the Ayurvedic perspective. Food is not just ingredients, it carries energy. And the state of the person preparing the food becomes part of that experience. You may have felt this before. Food made with care and love feels different, even when it is simple. And food made in a rushed, distracted state feels different too. When you are present while cooking, you naturally become more aware of timing, balance, taste, and quality. But Ayurveda goes deeper. Your inner state, your bhav, becomes part of the meal, and that influences how the food is received. Think about how you usually cook. Are you rushing, thinking about multiple things, feeling tired or distracted? Very common, but in that state, your senses are not fully engaged. And when the senses are not engaged, cooking becomes mechanical. Now imagine something different. You slow down, even just a little. You notice the ingredients, the colors, the textures, the aroma building. Suddenly, cooking is not a task, it becomes an experience. And that shift changes everything. Cooking, just like eating, engages the senses. Sight, colors coming together, smell, spices, warmth, sound, the gentle sizzle, touch, textures and temperature, taste, balance and flavors. When you engage these senses, cooking becomes immersive, and naturally it brings you into the present moment. You might wonder, does this really matter? The answer is yes. When you cook with awareness, you are already preparing your body to receive the meal. Your senses are engaged. Your nervous system begins to settle. You shift into rest and digest mode. And from an Ayurvedic perspective, you support Agni, your digestive fire. So the meal is not just nourishing because of the ingredients, but because of how it is prepared and received. In modern life, everything feels fast. Cooking gets squeezed in, becomes just another task that you have to do. But Ayurveda invites you back to rhythm. Not more time, just more presence within the time you already have. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Even one conscious step can change the experience. Here's a simple way to begin. Before you start cooking, pause. Take a breath. Allow yourself to arrive. As you prepare ingredients, notice the colors, the textures, the natural qualities. And as the food cooks, notice the aroma, even stirring with awareness instead of rushing. It changes everything over time. This becomes natural cooking, becomes a moment of grounding, a shift from activity into presence, where the mind slows down, where you reconnect with something simple and real. And there's something deeper. Food carries an emotional connection. When you cook with awareness, there is care, there is love in the process, whether for yourself or for others, and that quality is felt. What if cooking wasn't something to get through, but something to return to? A moment to slow down, even briefly, a moment to connect. This shift doesn't require big change. It begins with awareness. So try this today. For one meal, cook with awareness. Pause before you begin. Take a breath. Engage your senses and notice. Not perfect, just different. And that is enough. Because when you bring awareness into cooking, it doesn't stay in the kitchen. You become more present in daily life, more connected to what you do, more aware of how you move through your day. This is how real change happens, not through force, but through consistency. Over time, I've seen this clearly. Well-being is not built through occasional effort, it is built through small, consistent practices. Cooking is one of those opportunities. So the next time you step into your kitchen, pause and ask yourself, can this be more than just a task? Can this be a moment of connection? Because when you bring awareness into cooking, you are not just preparing food, you are preparing nourishment. And if this resonates with you, you can explore this way of living more deeply in a way that is practical, grounded, and integrated into your daily life, step by step.